Okay, welcome you all to our collective calls. I'm Ivan, and we have Malika as a co-host. So we are hosting today's collective call on Thursday, sorry. So we got three projects to you today to pitch and, have some Q&As. Let me go through them real quick and introduce them to you. So first we got Stefan from MirrorGains, and we got Mason, CEO at Autonom. And Nadia and Jason are representing AdLunam's project. Hopefully I pronounced everything correctly. So yeah, thank you so much for coming, guys. Let's start. I think MirrorGains are going to be the first one. Stefan, how are you doing?
How's it going, guys? Thanks very much for hosting us. Well, yeah, let's start with a bit of an intro. So I'm long-term in the market, started off as an entrepreneur like 10 years ago. And saw a lot of different things, like being part of a venture builder for over 5 years in a bootstrap. And yeah, last year we decided to split path. I went on my own journey and started MirrorGains, understanding kind of the market and its behavior. We saw a big gap that a lot of people joining the space, especially now during this meme hype, are very lost and overwhelmed by the sheer amount of tokens being launched and opportunities out there with a lot of KPIs. And there is nearly no guidance you can actually trust in. So we wanted to build a social trading venue, which is humanizing trading, making leaders accountable for their calls and their signals they give to their followers, and have them streamline them directly through a Telegram mini app to followers who are maybe not so averse of the whole game being played. So this is why we call it MirrorGains, because you actually mirror the acts of more experienced traders in the space and hunt for profits. So the goal is to actually be a bit of a counter initiative to the whole AI agents, which take away autonomy from the people involved and enable like trading in a smarter way together, and also help leaders to unlock their power of influence and actually incentivize them for their actions instead of just stealing their calls in a copy trading fashion, which is also accessible with other platforms. So as I said, like the problem is that it's just like impossible, especially for newcomers, to understand what's going on. So instead of just having raw data analytics, which also needs a lot of understanding to comprehend and also doesn't incentivize to actually build trust and transparency, we want to have a solution which brings together the communities with the insiders and the leaders, and on both sides provide them the tools needed to actually navigate the market in a more solid space. Obviously, the leaders are aiming for leverage. They want exposure, maybe even fame on top of their profits or their ROI. And the stance, the followers, they want a better success rate and earlier entries. So this is why we foster this user experience and fit in basically as a complementary asset to the landscape and the platforms which are already out there. I think the market, everyone understands, in the Web3 space is growing very quickly. A lot of retail is attracted by the gains this time in this cycle by meme coins, but our approach doesn't only serve this niche. We can go way beyond into blue chip trading, even off-chain in the end, but obviously we want to focus on the hot niche at the moment and be a first mover, enabling followers in this space. The good thing about our token economy, which we roll out, is we are quite resistant to the bear markets. Trading always happens. Trading fees, as we see in other exchanges, always occur. And I think leadership on trades is even more relevant during bad times than in bull markets where everything works. But even seen in this market cycle, it's hard. It's not as kind of focused on certain narratives this time, and it's a mess. So I think even in the bull market, the next upcoming months in Web3, we're going to see a lot of guidance needed for the players who join the market. So the product is a simple user experience game, Telegram mini app with high focus on accessibility and simplifying the end user experience. So they're not overwhelmed. They can build trust to certain people and then actually act upon this to achieve gains. We are just upon releasing our closed beta, So yeah, everyone who's listening in and is interested into trading or even aspires to become a trade leader, you can reach out to me in Telegram at godlysun, and yeah, get an invite code to be one of the first users actually providing feedback to us and yeah, helping us to achieve product market fit. We have a couple of competitors, despite the market is focusing more on agent trading or indications analytics. We have a direct competitor, Vector.fun. They're doing a similar app, like focusing on like a social behavior and KPIs for leaders you can follow, the alerts, and trade after them. But there is a lot of room in this market. Obviously, having a business model with transaction fees allows us to rake on volume. Like it's a game of critical mass, but our critical mass doesn't need to be super high to actually become profitable. Yeah, so this is kind of the story we're releasing now. We have a very steep roadmap, but very executable, working with partners, and the team has a lot of experience to actually pull it off. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Stefan. Now it's time for a Q&A. Please, guys, expecting your questions in the chat. And let me remind you real quick that we post all the contact details in the chat as well, so you can find like Telegram, email as well. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, we already received one questions. Let me go through them. How do you ensure that the AI scoring system remains accurate and reliable as more users join the platform and the volume of trades increases?
Yeah, so we gonna face a lot of like exploit prevention when we have a critical mass. It's not such a big topic now starting off, but I think the biggest risks are like sandwich bot trades or fraudulent players who want to take advantage of their good looking like in-app profile and then leverage it externally with like a shadow wallet to trade against it. These things, like, we focus mainly our AI scoring about to be having transparency ourselves towards like how user behave, and then we partner for scoring of tokens, scoring of wallets with external entities. We cannot lift like the whole ecosystem ourselves. So that's why we are very complementary. We have a lot of partnerships coming up, which help us to actually provide signals, to help us provide scoring, and we try to leverage this. I think the scoring basis on, you know, like if it is risky or not, rarely depends on the volume of our user base. It's more kind of fraud prevention. Like, is there the holding structure of a token good, or are the top 10 holders basically just a cabal? Like, who is part of these tokens? So these kind of things where we try to bring a safety net structure to the users is the focus of ours. And then we allow obviously other players to also streamline their signalings, which we pre-vet and make sure that these companies do a good job.
Okay, thanks. Another question goes like this. With the focus on gamification and leaderboards, how do you plan to keep users engaged without them becoming overwhelmed by competition or distracted from real profit opportunities? And great pitch, by the way.
Yeah, so the aim is that every user builds his own cohort. So if you're a leader, you basically refer users to follow you, or you are in the leaderboard and get more exposure to build kind of a bigger base so you can shield towards. We don't allow users automatically to just mirror trade. So every user needs to act upon an alert, and some users maybe want more alerts, some want less, and they decide this basically themselves by adding hunters to their list, and based on their performance KPIs. So we're gonna provide a lot of leader KPIs, like how good are their calls for the follower base, how good are the calls for themselves, so you can take your own decisions, or how often they trade, of which hunters you want to basically receive signals from. So this should be kind of on a case-by-case user basis decided, like how active you want to be, and then you decide like what signals you receive. In later stages, obviously we can fine-tune these settings, so you can presumably also, you know, like put parameters in place, like I want also only have signals if they are below a certain market cap, or if they're having at least certain amount of holders or volumes. in the chart already, so you can filter further based on the signals you get. But this is obviously in later stages, also based on the feedback of the participants.
Right, gotcha. I also have a question, by the way. So, how a trader can become a leader on MirrorGains? Because you've certainly mentioned like leadership in this field. So, could you walk us through this process, becoming a leader, trade leader?
Yeah, so it starts very small. Everyone is in the same category. So everyone can be a leader and a follower in itself. The app doesn't make a difference, or the onboarding doesn't make a difference between leaders and followers, but every user will receive like his own invite code, which makes him like eligible to invite more people to his pool. And the more people following will make him a stronger leader. Obviously, like some people will trace external wallets, maybe insider wallets they already know, and get alerts from them, shilling that further, or only trade with their friends group, whatever is called a leader, right? So, and then we have power users already lined up, which can have higher influence from the start, which already bring kind of their alpha group with them, or are a KOL in the space who are able to build up their followership quicker than others. But everyone is eligible to become a leader in whatever tier he wants or whatever format he wants. To also enable newcomers, we're planning to have a pay-as-you-go feature to actually boost your signal to external recipients, which are maybe not part of your followership. So to empower also more like leaders with good KPIs to actually reach an audience which they couldn't reach otherwise within the platform. And then obviously also the leaderboard helps to get exposure.
Thank you for answering my question. Guys, do we still have more questions? Feel free to leave them in the chat as well.
Yeah, meanwhile, can I ask, Stefan, thanks for the pitch. How do you plan to attract top traders to the platform and remain on the platform?
Yeah, so a big part of it is like very bound to our revenue model. So obviously we need to take fees from the trading volume to make a business. But we have staking tiers, and this is where the token economy comes in. So if you're a top staker, you basically reduce your trading fee on zero. So this should kind of reduce the friction for trade leaders to use the venue without taking a loss or paying high fees. They also can increase their rewards, by the way, by staking. And that's kind of the intrinsic motivation of why they shouldn't switch the venue. Like how you bring them on at first is obviously by being part of the markets, the networks. Like we have a lot of affiliate partners who are working with these people in the trenches, spokespeople like ambassadors who will take the first kind of role model in the app and then spread the word and attract hopefully other leaders to leverage the new revenue model they can apply. So we're not changing the revenue model trade leaders have, we just streamline basically the revenue on another level. So how the market currently works is trade leaders already shill calls, but they need to flip their bag on the community of followers. And beyond that, there's no revenue model for them. So they just need to have a profitable trade. What we offer them is that they can rake volume fees from the followership and help like to make revenue through kind of the signal itself rather than only on their bag. While the bag return, the ROI remains still as a business model of theirs.
Okay, thank you so much.
I have just one question left, sorry. You can, Stefan, you can answer that really quickly. I've suddenly seen the section about the roadmap. I understand we didn't have time for that, but could you walk us through real quickly about the roadmap, share some plans with us, what we can expect this year in upcoming ones as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we start as a bootstrap. We want to really build this bottom up. So we want to avoid VC money. We don't want to, like have the community as exit liquidity and really go forward as a role model. So currently we have a team of 5 people, strong devs who actually deliver in this bootstrap, really believe in the project that we can bring some value to the market. And we achieved a closed beta state as a mini app on Base. Now we're working on more social UX, more features to bring in to go towards a open beta in a few weeks. And then like obviously the king of ecosystems right now, Solana, is on the roadmap to integrate, which we're like already having kind of the plans. So that should happen towards like the end of Q1. And once we see kind of the KPIs and traction there, we also gonna release the token economy around the whole gamified app experience. Beyond that, we don't want to plan too much. It's all about growth, all about gamification, engagement, typical B2C app approach, and hopefully a lot of monetization also for all the stakeholders being part, not just us as a company, but the more people trade, the higher the prize pools will get for the leaderboards, the higher impact we can bring to the market. And then obviously we can expand into other features. We have a lot of nice ideas how to make trading and trade leading fair and exciting. And we want to implement a lot of these features alongside the year. And go to whatever ecosystem is requested by the users.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you so much, Stefan, for pitching here. It was a pleasure. Guys, just real quick, you can find all the contact details in the chat, but we're moving on. So the second project here is Autonom, and Mason is here to present it to you. Hi, Mason. Thank you for connecting. It's a pleasure having you today. Passing the mic to you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you. Hey, so decentralized finance has ushered in a new era of permissionless trading, yet it remains fundamentally cut off from traditional finance. Traders and institutions alike want to access real-world assets through DeFi, but the infrastructure to do so safely and efficiently hasn't existed until now. Autonom was created to solve this exact challenge. Most existing oracles are designed for crypto-only data. This limited focus makes them unsuited for the inherent complexities involved with getting TradFi on-chain. Events like stock splits, dividends, and mergers are difficult to manage, and even one missed adjustment can trigger catastrophic liquidity losses for perpetual protocols. The lack of a solution has kept DeFi siloed, preventing the full convergence of on-chain innovation with the global financial system. Autonom overcomes these hurdles with our adjusted opening price mechanism, which dynamically accounts for real-world events, ensuring perpetual protocols operate seamlessly even in volatile conditions. By providing precise, up-to-date, and reliable data, Autonom is the first oracle capable of truly bridging TradFi and DeFi at scale. Accuracy alone isn't enough, though. Many oracle projects have relied on subsidies that become unworkable as trading volume grows. Autonom disrupts this pattern with a revenue-first approach. We charge a flat 0.8% fee on both sides of every transaction. This structure aligns our success with the actual on-chain volume, creating a self-sustaining engine that rewards adoption rather than impeding it. Over time, as the ecosystem expands, our model remains cost-effective for partners while fueling Autonom's continued development. Our long-term goal isn't just to solve technical challenges, though. It's to pave the way for institutions to confidently enter DeFi. Many RWA projects focus on tokenizing assets, but overlook the underlying oracle issue. If the data isn't reliable, no institution will deploy significant capital to it. With Autonom's technology, for the first time, DeFi participants can trade indices, sector baskets, and other sophisticated instruments that mirror real-world performance without worrying about data mismatching. What truly sets Autonom apart is our decentralized restaking mechanism for AVS validation. The restaking system incorporates financial penalties for operators who submit bad or inaccurate data, which is coupled with a challenge system that provides a way to uncover and mitigate potential risks associated with operator collusion. Together, this system enforces data accuracy and integrity at scale, creating a self-regulating network that drastically reduces the risk of manipulation or errors. It's a shift that not only strengthens trust in our price feeds, but also creates a protective moat that competitors can't easily replicate. Underpinning this system is a high-performance cross-chain architecture that integrates seamlessly with Ethereum Layer 2's Solana, Polkadot, and beyond. Our aggregator node checks operator submissions against multiple data sources, while a dispute resolution mechanism allows stakers to challenge discrepancies before they affect trading. This combination builds a resilient environment where DeFi protocols can expect to maintain peak performance no matter how complex the underlying assets are. Rather than struggling to create demand independently, we're partnering with perpetual dexes that already serve engaged active user bases. Together, we will co-develop products like specialized growth earth indices or clean energy baskets, showing how Autonom's feeds not only handle complexity, but also open up entirely new trading opportunities. This strategy is designed to accelerate adoption and rapidly establish Autonom as the industry standard oracle for RWAs without needing to build community and ecosystem from scratch. Our team consists of a CTO who has extensive experience managing numerous multi-billion-dollar smart contract executions with Wintermute, and he also helped to develop API3's flagship Airnode and OEV network products. I was the head of business development and operations at API3, and Rai was a marketing expert at API3 as well. Collectively, we have unmatched experience in the Oracle and DeFi space. We were also just accepted into the prestigious Techstars Accelerator. They are widely recognized as the best tech accelerator, and unlike Y Combinator, they have a Web3 specialized program. Out of approximately 700 applicants or so, we made it to the top 6. So we're very excited for the opportunity and expect it to shorten our go-to-market by a couple of years. Lastly, consider the scope of what we're tapping into here. TradFi derivatives for equities and commodities alone exceed $143 trillion in annual volume. A very conservative estimate of bringing even 0.1% of that on chain equates to $143 billion in volume annually, a figure we believe we will easily surpass. This is more than a vision, it's the natural evolution of DeFi, and Autonom is poised to be its foundational infrastructure. Join us as we work to accelerate this transformation and forever alter the future of finance.
Okay, thank you so much for the great pitch, guys. Now to Q&A part as well. Feel free to leave your questions to the chat below or raise your hand. Okay, we received a question, or even 2 of them. So let me walk through each. With Autonom being the first DeFi oracle for RWA on chain, how do you ensure your oracle's data accuracy and reliability when integrating with diverse assets like equities, commodities, and indices?
Yeah, so basically it is all about our restaking mechanism for ABS validation combined with our cross-chain architecture that integrates basically like a slashing mechanism on top of that. So there's economic incentives that are built to both encourage accurate data, but also to allow for like a dispute mechanism. So you're rewarded for making sure that the data is timely and accurate. Sorry, I got distracted by the slide we just pulled up.
No worries.
But yeah, I mean, that's...
Maybe I
Go
can
ahead.
maybe I can jump in here. So
Sure.
what happens when you decentralize price feeds is that, of course, you're going to get possibly, let's say, 5 price feeds, and you have and we have an aggregation check when these 5 price feeds come in, and possibly all these 5 price feeds are from 5 different data providers, and they're being run by 5 operators. This actually increases, if anything, the validity or the robustness of the pricing data you get. For example, you've got 5 independent people saying the price is, they're all saying USDC is $1, $1, $1, $1, and you've got the 5th guy saying, oh, actually USDC is 3 cents. So what we can do is that an aggregation at the Oracle level then checks to see, okay, what's the spread of this, the mathematical spread of this? If there's one outlier, that person's basically going to get penalized directly. And that's where the restaking operation comes in, because it means that whatever ETH they've restaked, if they've been found to be providing inaccurate data, they get the rewards that they receive from us for validating our Oracle slash. So what we're doing is directly connecting the amount of payment of rewards that you get as a Oracle provider to the accuracy of the data you provide on chain, or these operators provide on chain. I hope that makes sense. If not, please feel free to follow up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really clever. Thank you for addressing this question. We have another one, by the way. What makes Autonom's partnerships with DEXs and restaking operators so crucial for the future of RWA pricing? And how do you plan to scale these integrations across more platforms?
Yeah, so with our design, it makes it possible to create baskets of assets, right? So as an example, if you've seen The Big Short, Michael Berry is, a very well-known manager. He's got a ton of assets under management. And so he is enabled to go reach out to institutions and create a basket of assets that allows him to short the housing market, right? So they created this technical financial instrument that wasn't really available until he said he wanted it. And with this, what it does is it kind of taps into the composability of DeFi on chain. So what we believe is that decentralized, perp dexes are going to have kind of an interest in creating baskets of assets that people can trade, because it's just a unique thing, right? And we plan on, with our partnerships with them, creating a custom basket of assets based off of whatever it is that they think resonates with their community and their project. As soon as we launch, we then start to maintain profitability, because we're getting a very small percentage of every transaction on both sides of the transaction. What that does is it creates a feedback loop for us, and then that allows us to continuously improve and build out bigger and better baskets. What it also does is it allows us to see where demand really is. So we expect that there's a variety of angles to this, but that is kind of the quickest way for us to get a feedback loop going and some revenue.
Thank you for answering this one as well. Guys, feel free to leave more questions. And if you want to, you can get in contact with our speakers by finding the links in the chat, just reminding you real quick. I also have a question, by the way. So could you walk us through the roadmap and the current raise?
Absolutely. I'll give that one to Rai.
Yeah. So in this quarter, while we were continuing building, we were also involved in a very intensive application to Techstars Accelerator. Now that we've been accepted, the program starts mid-March. We're basically doing a lightning round, which we would need to go towards accelerating our bootstrap development and go to market. We did close a friends and family round prior that was 100K. And apart from that, every single bit of development was bootstrapped by the founding team. We are currently aiming to raise 1 million at a 20 million valuation. This would be 5% of token supply. Further details, please inquire using the contact below. There is a second round planned prior to launch. This would be a private round at a 30 million valuation, as well as a very small public launch. Details of this still to come, but that the valuation basically takes into account the amount of risk that would be, I would say, assumed by the people investing at this point. Given that we are now in the midst of signing our contracts with Techstars, and that we have also noted a mid 2025 launch of testnet, this basically means that we have more or less, insofar as much as possible, committed to building really heavily in the next couple months or so, and really striving for a mid-year launch in this year. And the funds are basically to go towards, like I said, accelerating our launch so that we can launch during good market conditions in mid 2025, assuming that that's good market conditions at that point.
And by the way, what put you ahead out of like 600 applicants? So being in this top 6 gotta be quite hard. So how did you break through?
Yeah, no, I think we make a really good team. We have a lot of experience working together. We respect each other really well, but we're not arrogant. Like we're very malleable, and we're open to feedback. I think that there are a variety of soft skills that just make us have a lot of positive dynamic here. But then we also spent 2 to 3 years of R&D on the side before we even applied. So a lot of the hard work and heavy lifting has already been done, and we've already proven out our concept. And so now all we need is just to finish the execution of go to market. And I think that the collection of all of those things were kind of heavily weighted in the minds of the people that we worked with at Techstars.
Yeah. I wanted to add one more thing, which is that your tier 1 accelerators like Techstars, like Y Combinator, they don't look so much for projects that see what's currently successful, what the current narrative of the market is now, and then say, I want to build this thing based on the narrative that is currently successful. What they really like are, if you go and look back at the projects that have been accepted and have done well, they like basically people pushing the boundaries of what is going to be the narrative in 1 to 2 years time. There's no point investing in a company building on a narrative that is currently existent if you don't believe that narrative is still going to be around in 2 years time. So for the tier 1 accelerators that have all the resources to do really in-depth DD, and Techstars is one of them, because the managing director had himself a background in TradFi and was also very familiar with oracles. He understood that what we were doing was not just looking for a place in the market that was not occupied and building for it, but rather looking at a brand new market that was not being served on Web3, where it would make sense, where Web3 would value add to this, and basically saying, we need to go and build the architecture to make this happen, so this $1 trillion market has the architecture to actually be onboarded onto Web3. And I think that's what sold it in the end.
Yeah, we also, so a lot of the other companies in this space, they're focusing on tokenizing RWAs. And so like right now, the narrative really consists around, the time it's taking to tokenize RWAs. And what this does is really, it kind of sidesteps that all together, and it creates product market fit. It allows for, the testing of various ways that DeFi is innovative and, fundamentally better than TradFi. And, it allows users to tap into that without needing to, tokenize each individual asset before they're able to take advantage of those things. Another thing is being forward-looking. We have a strategic competitive advantage here, because Oracle infrastructure is not something that you can just go and rework. So like a lot of what we're doing here is something that would require a complete redesign of the infrastructure for most other projects. And they're not going to do that because they're making decent money with DeFi, right? So like DeFi is siloed off right now, but there's not really a lot of incentive for existing incumbents to break into the TradFi space without cannibalizing some of their revenue, right? So like we're in a really good market position for something like this as well, and I think that was something that they really liked about our team.
Well, that's super cool. I really hope that Techstars have like strong position around you guys. So yeah, good for you guys. I see just a little note from Brother AG. I'll inquire on my own, whatever that means. And yeah, Ryan, Mason, it's been a pleasure to hear me out. Wishing you best of luck. Yeah, really nice talk we're having here. Yeah, we got last project today to share the pitch, but not least, obviously. So it is AdLunam project, and Nadia and Jason are going to be presenting it to you. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming. Whenever you're ready, passing the mic to you. Yeah, I can see, I cannot hear you. Sorry, your microphone's muting.
You hear me now?
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's great.
All right, awesome. So first of all, great pitches by everyone else. Excited to talk to all of you. So at AdLunam, we have built first of all, let me say community is based on, or AdLunam, at least Web3 is based on community, and community is based on engagement. Now that is social engagement, and that is also investment engagement. So what we've done in terms of what we've built is an engine, an ecosystem. Now, before I get there, who we are, all three of our co-founders have deep experience and deep relationships in the Web3 space. We've all been specifically in the token investment side of things. So Jason, who is on the call with me, he was formerly CXO at IBC Group and at NFT Tech, Mario Nawfal's companies. I have been in the space very active since the ICO days in 2017. I've been with Bitcoin.com, being crypto investing, etc. investing.com. Lawrence Hudson, our other co-founder, he was the CTO at Paid Network, one of the top 10 IDO launchpads, as well as Master Ventures. He was also the co-founder and the CTO at Travelocity, acquired by Expedia for 280 million. So we really have, as I say, very deep experience in this entire ecosystem that we're in. So I actually quickly want to show you a demo of what our social platform looks like. Now, our social platform is really a hub, and this is a hub where so many spokes interconnect and then also expand into different parts of the ecosystem. So let me see if I can bring this up.
Welcome to AdLunam, your gateway to the future of investment. Dive into discussion, connect with experts, and earn rewards all in one
It's
place.
so good for me. It's kind of laggy. Is it only me or
and
not,
unlock
Monica?
the power of attention. Enhance your visibility and community influence with every interaction. Engage with your community. Explore other member profiles. Message your friends and find your alpha in specialized groups. Unlock your potential with every action. Earn badges, complete quests that reward your contributions and showcase your achievements. Climb through the ranks, each tier unlocking new privileges. Customize your profile, track your progress, and flex your tokens. Join AdLunam today. Connect, engage, and succeed in Web3. Find us on the Chrome Store.
Okay, so I'm hoping that you all were able to see this video in full. I
You
wasn't
can share the
able.
link if you want to in the chat. We can.
Yes, that
talk
I
about it
can
later.
actually let me do that right now if I have time.
Sure thing.
Just so in case anyone missed it.
Welcome to AdLunam,
In fact,
your
one of
way to the future of investment.
All right, so I want to talk about two things simultaneously to kind of, get through the whole thing in 5 minutes. So this touches both on the token utility as well as the intelligence layer that we have in the ecosystem. So AdLunam.social is the retail platform. This is what you just saw the demo for. So this is really where we unify the data that we collect. Now, what is that data? When a user joins the AdLunam.social ecosystem, they connect their Web3 wallet and they also connect their Web2 social platforms. So that means that now we have this sort of 360-degree investor profile of who this person is in Web3, as well as their presence in Web2. Now we are able to sync the data that we are collecting from Web2, as well as with the discussions that they are having and the engagement that they have on the AdLunam social ecosystem. From there, it's a gamified ecosystem. The more you engage, and of course, there's quality engagement. There's a lot of proof of attention is our model. There's a lot of proof of attention and engage to earn scoring. And so post that, the higher your points, the higher you are on the leaderboard. That gets you access to IDO allocations. Now that brings us to AdLunam.app, which is our launchpad. So on the launchpad, we have a split between, of course, staking tokens in order to get allocations, and then our engage to earn model, which is where your allocation that you receive is based on on your engagement score. And then finally, from there, it leads to the AdLunam exchange, which is a DEX, which of course is where the tokens are to be traded. And so the intelligence layer is, something that follows you throughout the entire ecosystem and enriches your profile as an investor. So if you imagine, for example, that if a project wants to launch in this market, an altcoin is probably enough of an example because there's only meme coins out there. Now, if you want to, target investors that are investing, you would like to understand that this person who you are intending to target is right now only investing in meme coins. The narrative, both from a wallet engagement perspective as well as from a social perspective, indicates that they have absolutely no interest in, you know, your RWA project, for example. So this is really what we've done in terms of what we've put together. Let me quickly, if I have time, do I have time? Yes, I have some time. So I'll just very quickly show you then, here is an example of, this is a comparison. We are doing this for ourselves right now because we are preparing for the IDO. Our IDO is coming up soon. I guess we'll discuss that maybe in the Q&A. So this is an analysis that we are doing between the communities of top launchpads over the last 3 months. So as you can see here, this goes over engagement trends, it goes over sentiment analysis, investor behavior, token performance correlation. And this is really just a kind of, you know, level 1 in terms of the kind of analysis that we do. So ultimately what we do is investor matching, like intelligence-based investor matching. Between early stage projects wanting to raise funds and then retail investors wanting IDO allocation. Okay, I'm going to stop here.
Okay, guys, so now to Q&A part, finally, we already received a question in the chat, so let's address that first. So it goes like this. Given Web3's current issues with bots and civil attacks, how does AdLunam ensure that your proof of attention model is scalable and adaptable to future challenges in decentralized communities? Also, like they do.
Sure. So yeah, I dropped a little information in the chat, but yeah, I mean, essentially you validate users a number of ways. Essentially, they connect their wallet when they first join the social media platform, the social platform. In addition, they connect various Web2 platforms, and they get additional tokens, points rather, for connecting other platforms. And then we're able to track, not only because they've connected their wallet, we're able to track historically, you know, how they behave with tokens, how often they've had tokens, what's the total, like what's the largest their wallet has ever been, consistently, what do they tend to have. So we have a great deal. And then when they came into crypto, what tokens that they have, and when they bought which, like for example, if they want a metaverse token, we know when they bought that, we can get an idea. And so we have a great deal of information when you connect that and, you know, their social behavior both on over Web 2 and over Web 3 and the AdLunam social platform. We have a great deal of information about these people. And then finally, converting, you know, their points to allocation. Usually the maximum is like 100 to 500 because it's a limited allocation in each project. So usually it'll be about 100 to 500 max that they could possibly invest. And that process, we go through those, we have the server log, so we're able to go through that and check beforehand.
Yeah, and I think only to add to that, we don't only do, you know, quantifiable behavior, we very much look at quality of behavior. I mean, it's very much understanding who an investor is. So the connection between the Web2 various social media platforms, as well as the Web3 wallets, various wallets, if that's what they want to connect, it really over time builds up a very, very robust picture of who this person is in terms of engagement. So it's not enough to, you know, do likes or do posts. It needs to build up a complete picture of who you are as a person. So it's a little bit richer than, you know, just kind of this account connecting to that account.
So yeah, just to take the second question that I see, you know, how do you differentiate AdLunam's AI-powered investor scoring from traditional metrics? Yeah, so I just want to, so how do we differentiate AdLunam's AI-powered investor scoring from traditional metrics used by VCs? Basically, traditional metrics used by VCs are institutional investors investing in projects on an institutional level. AdLunam's users on a social platform are retail investors. So essentially what we're trying to do is provide detailed data to projects themselves launching and or our partners, and we glean that data from the retail investor itself. So instead of scoring, like a VC would be scoring the project, we are scoring the retail investors and trying to figure out how valuable they are to those projects and be able to give that information to them.
Yeah,
because ultimately that's what they need to figure out. Where they need to figure out who do they want to reward in allocation, and they want to reward the most engaged people and the people that are most likely to push their token and hold on to their token as opposed to sell it. So it's really a way for projects to learn about it.
Sorry, if I can add something to that, any of you who have been involved in the raising fund space, first starting institutionally, and you have the ability to vet the VCs that want to be on your cap table. and then you move into the IDO space and suddenly it's a complete black box. You have absolutely no idea who these retail investors are that are getting IDO allocation. You don't know, you just don't know who these people are. Are they there because they just want to dump as soon as they can? Are they there because they genuinely care about your narrative? Are they there because they genuinely care about your project? I mean, the ability for us to understand those dynamics is incredibly important. And when it's not there, projects are really not able to plan and execute IDOs and long-term sustainability of the token without data like this.
And just to add, we've already raised. This is our tokenomics. We already raised a couple million, in funds. Now we have a very small amount of allocation remaining. Just before we launched, in a matter of weeks on the SEX and the DEX.
You guys, thank you so much for addressing these two questions. By the way, how much of your token is circulating at TG?
That's a great question. So we have 1.79% of our token that is actually circulating at TG, which is a really small amount. Industry standard is around 4% and above. And so essentially we expect very, very, very little sell pressure. And we've really kept it that way. A lot of tokens, they will come in with like 50% of their tokens circulating, or even, or somewhere thereabouts. But we've managed to keep like selling pressure really low, and that's intentional so that so that the token rises in price.
Oh, that's kind of good. Guys, lastly, can you share some, insights regarding your roadmap? Like what's in store? We can,
That's a great question. So I think we have an IDO coming up. Post that we'll be launching the social platform. After that, we also have a DEX. So the DEX will probably be launched either around that time or after we launch our first project. We'll add liquidity to the DEX and then start.
Share the ecosystem slide?
Yes, of course. So yeah, go ahead, Nadia.
So we have we touched on a couple of the things in the ecosystem. Of course, the social platform and then the DEX as well as the LaunchPad. We also have an accelerator that's been running actually we're a 3-year-old company. We have international team all over the world, team of 13. So our accelerator is already live. We have various media brands that are live. So really, this is just the next step in the roadmap is to get these other products online. Everything is already built, ready to go. So looking forward to this exciting 2025, and along with all of you, because there's so much innovation. I'm really feeling very energized after this call, even though it's midnight.